I still remember the way my heart felt that evening, like it was cracking open all over again. 20 years. That's how long it had been since I walked out of my childhood home with nothing but a small suitcase and a dream no one believed in. My name is Rebecca Cole, and for most of my life, I was the family disappointment, the quiet girl who never quite measured up. My parents had big plans for me. They wanted the perfect daughter, the one who would marry well, settle down nearby, and give them grandchildren to brag about at Sunday dinners. Instead, I chose a different path. At 18, I enlisted. No fanfare, no proud hugs, just my mother's disappointed sigh and my father's cold words, "You'll be back in 6 months, crying for us to take you in." I never went back, not really. I poured everything into my service, the long nights, the deployments, the moments I wasn't sure I'd make it home. Year after year, I rose through the ranks. I led teams in situations most people will never understand. I made decisions that changed lives, including my own. But to my family, I was still just Becky who ran off and wasted her life. When the invitation for our 20-year high school class reunion arrived, something inside me whispered that maybe it was time to face the past, time to see if anything had changed. I chose a simple navy blue dress, nothing flashy. I wanted to blend in, to observe more than perform. As I drove up to the beautiful Aspen Grove Resort, the lights sparkling under the evening sky, my stomach twisted with nerves. Would they even remember me? Would my parents be kind this time? I walked into the grand hall and the chatter hit me like a wave. Old classmates laughed and hugged. Then I saw them, my parents, sitting at a table near the front with some of my aunts and uncles. My mother spotted me first. Her smile faltered for just a second before she forced it back. "Becky, you actually came?" she said, her voice carrying that familiar mix of surprise and pity. My father didn't even stand up. He just looked me up and down and chuckled. "Well, look who decided to show her face. Still playing soldier, huh? Or did they finally let you go?" The laughter rippled around the table. Old classmates joined in, some out of awkwardness, others because they remembered the quiet girl who disappeared after graduation. I sat there, shattered inside, smiling on the outside. 20 years of service, 20 years of sacrifice, and in their eyes, I was still the failure who had let the family down. But what they didn't know, what no one in that glittering hall could possibly imagine, was that everything was about to change. I excused myself after the main course, needing air. Standing on the balcony overlooking the gardens, I replayed every cutting word in my head. How many times had I wanted to tell them the truth? The classified missions, the medals tucked away in a drawer because I wasn't allowed to speak about most of them, the lives I had protected, the weight I carried every single day. But they never asked. They never wanted to know. To them, success had a very specific look: a big house, a flashy car, and a title that sounded good at country club parties. A daughter in uniform? That was embarrassing, something to joke about. Tears burned in my eyes as I stared at the stars. I had spent years proving myself to the world, yet the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally still saw me as broken. It hurt deeper than any battlefield wound. I was about to leave early when my phone vibrated, a secure message. My heart skipped. I knew what it meant before I even opened it. Inside the hall, the reunion was in full swing. Someone had started a slideshow of old yearbook photos. There I was, the shy girl in the back row. More laughter. My father clapped loudly. "See, that's our Becky, always blending into the background." The humiliation washed over me again. I felt exposed, small, destroyed by the very people who should have been my safe place. Then the lights in the hall flickered slightly as a low, distant sound grew louder, a rhythmic thumping that cut through the music and conversations. At first, people thought it was part of the entertainment,
but the sound grew closer, heavier, until the windows rattled. I stepped back into the hall just as the noise became unmistakable. A helicopter, and it was landing right outside on the resort's open lawn. Gasps filled the room. People rushed to the windows. My mother's face turned pale. My father stood up, frowning. What in the world is going on? The rotor wash whipped across the grass as the sleek military helicopter touched down. The side door slid open. 2 uniformed officers stepped out quickly, scanning the area with purpose. Then one of them spoke into a radio, his voice carrying clearly through the open doors and over the speakers someone had left on. "Madam General, we need you. Urgent extraction. The Pentagon is waiting." The entire room went dead silent. Every head turned toward me. I walked forward calmly, my simple navy dress suddenly feeling like the most powerful armor I had ever worn. The officers saluted sharply as I approached. "General Cole, ma'am. Crisis in the command center. They sent us directly." I nodded once, then turned back toward the hall. My parents stood frozen. My mother's hand covered her mouth. My father's face had gone completely white. The same man who had toasted my failed dreams just minutes ago now stared at me like he was seeing a stranger.
I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The truth spoke louder than any words I could have said. As I walked toward the helicopter, one of my old classmates whispered, "That's Rebecca? General?" My mother took a shaky step forward. "Becky, wait, is this real?" I paused for just a moment and looked at them both, the people whose words had shattered me so many times. My voice stayed steady, soft but clear. "Yes, Mom, it's real. 20 years of service, 20 years of doing what I was called to do. I never stopped believing in myself, even when you did." My father opened his mouth, but no sound came out. For the first time in my life, he had nothing to say. The officers helped me aboard. As the helicopter lifted off, I looked down at the glowing resort, the faces staring up at me in complete shock. The life I had quietly built while they laughed behind my back. That night, the sky carried me away from the pain of their betrayal and back into the world where I was respected, where my skills mattered, where I was needed. In the days that followed, messages flooded in. Apologies from classmates, awkward calls from relatives. My parents tried to reach me too. I answered one call from my mother. She cried. She said they had been wrong, so very wrong, that they were proud, even if they had never known how to show it. I forgave them, not because they deserved it in that moment, but because carrying bitterness would have weighed me down more than any mission ever could. Looking back now, I realize the real victory wasn't the helicopter or the shocked faces. It was the quiet strength I found when no one believed in me. The decision to keep going when every voice around me said I would fail. If you're watching this and someone in your life keeps tearing you down, keep rising anyway. Your worth isn't defined by their limited vision. One day, the world may see what they refused to. And when that day comes, you'll lift off into a life they never imagined. Hold on to your purpose. Stay humble. Stay strong. Because sometimes the ones who mocked you the loudest end up watching you fly. Emotional music swells and fades out gently. Thank you for watching my story. If it touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear that their quiet fight matters. Drop a comment. Have you ever been underestimated by the people closest to you? I read every single one. Until next time, stay true to your path.